there are all these rumours. Are you or are you not going to run for the presidency? You're a straight talker. You don't take any crap. You tell it like it is. You've always been totally honest with me. What's the answer?
I was honest. I certainly was. I chose you as my celebrity apprentice. The country is doing very poorly. It just can't do much worse. We're not respected anywhere in the world. I am seriously thinking about it. I won't make a decision till June, but I will make a decision. And it may surprise people, frankly, but I will make a decision sometime prior to June. I love this country. I hate what's happened to this country. We're a laughingstock throughout the world. We're not respected. When you look at what's happening in various places that we've always supported and, frankly, that we got along with, they're the places that are collapsing. You don't see the other places collapsing. A lot of that is a lack of respect for our country, Piers. And you know how I feel. You know very much how I feel. We just don't have it anymore as a country. You look at what China's doing to us, how they're just ripping us left and right. They're taking our jobs. We're rebuilding China. Worse than China is OPEC. They wouldn't be there except for us. 12 men sit around the table. They set the price of fuel. They set the price of $3.50 for your car right now, a gallon. Guess what? That's going to be $5, $6, and $7 very soon, because there's nobody here that calls them and says, fellas, you better not do it.
So let me assume that you're president for a moment. And I've got a funny feeling you are going to run, because I think you think your time may have come and that there's an opportunity for you, particularly with the Republicans in certain disarray. You know, you have Sarah Palin and you have the moderates, and there may well be a middle ground for you to storm through if you wanted to do that. Assuming you're president, what are the top priorities for President Trump?
Well, I think the first thing I do is announce very strongly that we're going to tax Chinese products, 25% tax on all Chinese products. They will come to the table immediately. They will stop manipulating their currency, which they're doing. It's very hard for our companies to compete with China because of the manipulation of their currency. I buy a lot of products. I'm building buildings all over the place. I buy glass and steel and lots of other things. It's very hard for our countries to compete with China. We make better products than them. By the way, that's the most important thing. We make better products. You look at their sheetrock, making people sick and killing people all over the country. Jobs closed up. The sheetrock was...
You see them as the enemy, don't you, China?
I see them as the enemy.
See,
and by the way, they know they're the enemy. They are the enemy. They say they're the enemy.
Yeah, but they're not an enemy in the sense that they don't want to kill you, right? They want to kill you in business.
They want to take over this country economically.
But that's different to wanting to kill you, like an Al-Qaeda or something.
Well,
see, I hear you say enemy,
it's very bad.
No, but when I hear you say enemy, I think it's too strong a word. They're a business competitor who, at the moment, is out-competing America, aren't they?
They are not really out-competing. They're cheating. When you cheat, and we have people that don't know what to do because we have the wrong people in office, that's not out-competing.
Do you think we have smart enough people to deal with the Chinese and the Indians and these new competitors out there in business?
I think they're smart, but I don't think they have any savvy. They don't have the savvy. They don't have what it takes. We should put our best business leaders. You know who we have negotiating with the Chinese? Diplomats. You know what a diplomat is? A person that from a young age is trained how to be nice. In other words, you could never be a diplomat. Okay? But everybody said he should be fired. Every week they wanted me to fire this guy. I couldn't fire him because he was so smart. I didn't want to fire him.
Without you.
That's right. Thank you. No, I mean, you're terrific. Frankly, you'd be a very good negotiator. I'd have you any day.
Yeah, but so would you see. This is why I'm interested about your presidential possible campaign, because I think we do need people like you running trading negotiations and diplomacy, frankly, with these countries. Because it seems to me at the moment, the Chinese thing, it's not a military threat. It's a business threat, and they are doing it better and faster and cheaper than anybody else in the world. I went to Shanghai recently. I was just stunned by what I found. 25 million people in that country, in that city, just going crazy for business. And they just wanted to be number one. There are towns in China that sell 95% of the world's duvets. You know, they manufacture 85% of the world's buttons. Now, I don't think that's the enemy. I think it's a potential business friend, isn't it? Can't we work with them?
I don't think they're friends. I think they're enemies. I deal with Chinese. I just sold an apartment to a Chinese person for $33 million a short while ago, a couple of months ago. I mean, I'm supposed to like the Chinese, but I understand the Chinese, and I deal with them all the time. Now, this is before they thought I might run for president. They consider our leaders extremely stupid people. They cannot believe what they get away with. Whether it's the Olympics where they put people underage and they say, no, 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 and then we find out it was true and they say, oh, we just didn't know. Or whether they have the beautiful girl singing the national anthem, their national anthem, but it wasn't her singing. So many different things. I mean, the Chinese are looking to put us under. And believe me, they are not our friends. I'm surprised at you because you're not somebody that's easily misled or misguided.
Well, here's what I think.
They are not our friends.
Why can't America do to the Chinese what they do to America, which is they make a lot of goods that Americans want, and they make them cheaply, and they make them fast? Why can't America start going back to its great manufacturing days and actually target in China stuff that they need from America? They need big machinery, for example. That could be made here, and that could be sold at a good profit and create jobs in America. But I don't see people in America taking that position.
Piers, you have to level the playing field. I buy so many products, glass as an example, a curtain wall for a building, and they all come in. And 90% of the companies with the glass are coming in from China. I don't want to buy glass from China, but our companies can't compete, not because they're not good, not because they're not even better, but because of the fact that the Chinese are manipulating their currency. They make it very, very tough for us to compete. Now, what I would say, how do you solve that problem? They're never going to solve it. They're never going to treat us well unless we do something strong. Here's what happens.
This is American glass, by the way.
You don't know that.
No, it is.
It's actually plastic.
It is American glass.
It's actually plexiglass. But
Plastic glass.
It's almost. You're almost.
Nearly American glass.
I feel better with plexiglass. But the fact is that the Chinese are looking to do damage to us economically. They're also building up a military. They're now starting their own aircraft manufacturing, which is going to be very bad for Boeing because, you know, they come in with this phony deal about $40 billion worth of airplanes, which is nothing by comparison to what they're cheating us out of. Now, I hate to use strong words, but that's what it is. And if you read the real economists and the real people that know what's going on, it's an unfair playing field. So here's what happens. You said, what would I do? I would immediately announce a tax of 25%. The first thing that's going to happen is the Chinese are going to call.
So you'd have a trade war?
We don't have free trade. You know, I believe in free trade, right? But we don't have free trade. We have very, very unfair trade. I call it unfair trade. I would tax them 25%. They would come to the table immediately. The other thing I'd do is I'd get our best business leaders. I wouldn't use the diplomats. I'd use the killers on Wall Street, of which I know every one of them. I would put this one in charge of negotiating with China. I'd put this one in charge of negotiating with India. We would do very well. We have the greatest business people in the world, but we don't use them.
Before we go to a break, let me just put one thing to you. In business, you can be ruthless. I've seen it, and you're successful because of it. You kill competitors, don't you? Aren't the Chinese just behaving like Donald Trump? And don't we just need more people like you to compete with them?
You need people that know how to deal with the Chinese, and we don't have those people. The president of China comes in, we give him a five-star dinner at the White House. I don't give my people that are not fair to me five-star dinners. I wouldn't have given them a five. I would have said, come to my office, let's talk. And if we don't work out a deal, we send them to McDonald's and send them back.